I'm hanging out with Encelia farinosa. This is Brittlebush, and I drive by this area every day on my way to work down the hill in Palm Springs, and I've been really stoked to see some of these in blossom. Some of the Encelias are flowering, which is really rare to be flowering this time of year, but because of all the water we've been getting here in the Mojave and Sonoran lately, we are seeing flowers. But I'm not going to so much talk about the flower real quick. I want to show y'all something here. The resin on this plant. So let's see. Oh, I don't know, the lighting might suck. Okay, do you see this kind of golden thing that I'm pointing at? That is resin on the plant. The Catholic Church, that little golden bead right there, that's also resin. The church used to send out people to gather resin from the plant, and there's a baby one right there. And of course, if you don't know what resins are, you always want to make sure that they're ethically sourced, because as you saw on this plant, it's covering an area of which there's injury. Check this out. This is actually resin. So you can look on the floor and find resin. And this is how I gather resin from Encelia. Typically, I will, now's a good time because in the summer, the resins will drop. And in the fall, they begin to harden. So with cold weather, they start to harden and then they'll fall. And so here we have, it's got some dust, I'll clean it out, a resin. It's beautiful, almost amberlint colored. And this is the way that you always want to remove or gather resin. You don't want to take it from the plant, because when we do that, we're actually exposing that area of oh, here, check this out, this is cool. We're actually exposing that wound. So imagine if you had a scab and your body is the natural protection defense is to form a scab. So imagine if you rip that scab, you're now revealing that area of your body to infection. You're not going to let it heal. So when we remove from the plants, trees, resins from the actual source, there's certain ways you can definitely get it, but you're exposing the plant and you don't want to do that. Here is let's see, there is like the shadow's in the way, there it is, that kind of golden little glob right there, that is fresh resin that's fallen on a leaf. So it's not covering the leaf is already like gone, the leaf is right up, but there is a fresh piece of resin that has dropped from the Encelia farinosa. Let's see, it's probably not hard. Yeah, it's slightly gooey. So the gum has been used as an incense, but it's also been used to help with topical applications of any type of arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. It's a warming resin, and it smells just like the plant. So it's a warming resin that you can kind of melt. You could even infuse in oil, but can you imagine? I've been gathering like Encelia farinosa resins for 2 years now, and I don't even have enough to fill even half a pint jar of to make an oil. But anyway, so it's warming. It's going to help with bringing blood to the area. So anybody that's experiencing achy pains from arthritis that's aggravated by the cold, damp weather, Encelia is a nice one. But this is her blossom. She's from the sunflower family, and you can see other ones are about to flower. So this is really cool because this plant is like I said, we didn't have a good rain last year, and this last summer, it was sad. Spring and summer was sad in the desert. We didn't have as many. You could tell she's going to start flowering pretty soon. So it's the water is life. And I got into an argument with this dude recently, and on Instagram. He's a local, and we were talking about water, and he feels that there's no way to waste water. I'm like, what the fuck? He doesn't feel that there's you can't waste water. So, I don't know. It blew my mind. Our conversations didn't last very much longer, but anyhow, so it's true. It's like this desert is typically covered with Encelia blossoms in the summer and in the springtime. And this last spring was really sad. She didn't flower much. It's usually like Golden Hills when you're driving on the 62 freeway up into Joshua Tree, Morongo Valley. You'll see the hillsides covered. So this plant likes dry, well-drained soil. You'll definitely find her more along like dry slopes. She likes disturbance. Rocky hillsides, doesn't like the cold weather. So the higher in the high desert, so if you're going to the national park, you're not really going to find this at higher elevations. She's definitely a plant that does better with no frost. So you'll see her typically in certain parts of Yucca, Morongo, 29, Joshua Tree. But the higher you get into the high desert, I'm like into the park, I haven't really spotted other than in the beginning entrance, the beginning where lower elevations are. Another thing about this plant is when you look at it, she's got like these silvery kind of leaves. There's a lot of fresh leaf here, so you'll see a more darker green. But from afar, people have mistaken Encelia for white sage, Salvia piana. So this is a plant that I've seen people gather and they were stoked because they thought they had white sage, which you should not be picking white sage. Yeah, they actually had Encelia. She's got other uses. You can make a tea out of the flower. You can make a tea out of the leaf. It's really good for somebody that has like any type of, say, gum irritation, toothaches. Definitely it's good for. I've read that the cowboys used to take the twigs and use it to brush their teeth. I can't speak to that. I don't know how they would do that. But I know for a fact, I've made oils with this tea, and I've used it in salves to help for arthritis and sore aches and muscles. And I've also made tea out of it. It's definitely drying, very drying. I just chewed on a leaf too, and it's quite drying. And then we have here Creosote Bush, and we see that she's got some flowers going on here. Yeah, so these flowers are soon going to become her fruit, which the fruit will have the seeds. See if we could find any of the seeds in here. I like cruising these areas because I love hunting for galls here. I don't see any, but you'll see. Oh, here's some. This fuzzy little fur ball looking thing is actually the seeds of Larrea, of Creosote Bush, and this is going to there's 5 seeds inside, so it'll kind of open and fly away. Anyway, I'll be teaching about this plant at Cactus Mart this week, this Sunday. Ooh, look at this. Check this gall out. I'm going to be talking about the galls. If you follow me, you'll know I'm kind of gall crazy, and I've been experimenting with it. I made my first oil, which I'm going to get tested in, sent to the lab, and compare the compounds found in the leaf of the gall and the compounds that are in Larrea. So I'm real excited about that. And anyway, so I'll be doing a plant monograph on Larrea tridentata, and a monograph is basically I'm going to be talking about the plant in depth. I'm dedicating an entire class to Larrea. It's a plant that is ubiquitous here to us in the Mojave, the Sonora, and the Chihuahuan Desert. But I'm going to talk about how Larrea is actually originated in South America, in Peru, Argentina, and Bolivia. And many of us don't know that, but it's a different species. So I'll be talking about that too. And we'll be I'll be teaching people how to make their own medicinal, or you could do culinary infused oils. It just depends upon what plant you're working with. So I'm going to be teaching how to be making herbal oils, and that's the hands-on portion. And then I'll be showing folks how to make a salve. So everybody's going to get to take a salve home, and you're going to take a jar of your own herbal infused oil, and it's going to be a fun time. So I'll see everybody there. If you have purchased a ticket for the class, please check your email, because I've sent emails just for little reminders of some things. And don't forget your cups, because we're going to be doing a plant tea meditation, exploring the look how beautiful the mountains are, exploring the physical energetics of the plant along with its taste. So I look forward to seeing everybody there, and have a beautiful day. Bye from the desert.